Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Maya Aline Talks. Today we will talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And as you know, I skipped last of 2 weeks ago the last episode because I didn't rewatch all the whole series of Buffy. And I must confess, I almost have seen it everything. Start now with season 7. So, it's too much to watch for just what I do, and I didn't want to let you wait another 2 weeks. So, here it is. So, let me give you first a note of the host of this podcast, of course, me. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share the channel with your friends and family. And then, of course, the plot of the series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is an American supernatural drama television series created by writer and director Joss Whedon. It is based on the 1992 film of the same name, also written by Whedon. Although they are separate and otherwise unrelated productions, Whedon served as executive producer and showrunner under his production tag Mutant Enemies Production. Season 1 exemplifies the high school is hell concept. Buffy Summers has just moved to Sunnydale after burning down her old school gyms and hopes to escape her Slayer duties. Her plans are complicated by Rupert Giles, her new watcher, who reminds her of the inescapable presence of evil. Sunnydale High is built atop a hellmouth, a portal to demon dimensions that attracts supernatural phenomena to the area. She eventually discovers that he is a vampire cursed with a soul. Oh, hold on. A mysterious man, Angel, warns Buffy of upcoming danger. She eventually discovers that he is a vampire cursed with a soul, which prevents him from feeding off living humans. Buffy befriends two schoolmates Xander Harris and Willow Rosenberg, who helps her fight evil throughout the series. Buffy, her watcher, and friends later start to collectively call themselves the Scooby Gang. Their first major threat is the Master, an ancient and especially threatening vampire who was trapped in the Hellmouth underground. When he escaped, Buffy defeats him and saves Sunnydale. The emotional stakes are raised in season 2. Vampire couple Spike and Drusilla come to town. A new Slayer, Kendra, who is activated as a result of Buffy's brief death in season 1, also arrives in Sunnydale. Popular schoolmates Cordelia Chase, who resented Buffy and her friends, joins the Scoobies again and becomes involved with Xander. Willow learns witchcraft and becomes involved with schoolmate Daniel Osborne, who is a werewolf. The romantic relationship between Buffy and the vampire Angel develops. But after they have sex, Angel experiences a moment of true happiness, breaking the gypsy curse to give him his soul, thus reventing him to a sadistic killer. The evil vampire, famously known as Angelus, joins the other vampires, Spike and Drusilla, and he torments Buffy and her friends. He murders multiple innocents, and Giles' new girlfriend Jenny Calendar, a gypsy who was sent to maintain Angel's curse. Kendra is murdered by Drusilla. To avert an apocalypse, Buffy is forced to banish Angel to a hell dimension just before after Willow has restored his soul. The ordeal leaves Buffy emotionally shattered, and she leaves Sunnydale. After attempting to start a new life in Los Angeles, Buffy returns to town in season 3. Angel has been mysteriously released from the demon dimension, but is close to insanity due to the torment he suffered there. He recovers, but he and Buffy realize that a relationship between them can never happen, and Angel leaves Sunnydale at the end of the season. Giles is fired from the Watchers Council because he was developed a father-love for Buffy, and he is replaced by Wesley Wyndham Price. I hated that prick. Towards the end of the season, Buffy is announced that she will no longer be working for the Council. Early in the season, she meets Fate, the Slayer activated after Kendra's death. She also encounters the affable Major Richard Wilkins III, who secretly has plans to ascend, become a pure demon on Sunnydale High's graduation day. Although Fate initially works well with Buffy, she becomes increasingly unstable after accidentally killing a human and forms a relationship with the paternal yet manipulative Major. The rivalry between Buffy and Fate eventually lands Fate in a coma. At the end of the season, after the Mayor becomes a huge snake-like demon, Buffy, Angel, the Scooby Gang, and the entire graduation class destroy him by blowing up Sunnydale High. At the end of the season, Angel and Cordelia leaves the series to star in the spin-off series Angel. Season 4 sees Buffy and Willow enroll at UC Sunnydale, while Xander joins the workforce and begins dating Anya, a former demon. Spike returns as a service regular and is abducted by the Initiative, a top secret military installation based beneath the UC Sunnydale campus. They implant a microchip in his head that prevents him from harming humans. Every time he tries to harm a human, he suffers excruciating pain. Upon learning that he can still harm other demons, he joins in with the Scooby Gang purely for the joy of fighting. Oz leaves the town after realizing that he is too dangerous as a werewolf, and Willow falls in love with Tara McClay, another witch. Buffy begins dating Riley Finn, a graduate student and US Army Ranger, second to the Initiative. Although appearing to be a well-meaning anti-demon operation, the Initiative Sinister's plans are revealed when Adam, a monster secretly built from parts of humans, demons, and machinery, escapes and begins to wreak havoc on the town. Adam is destroyed by a magical composite of Buffy and her 3 friends, and the Initiative is shut down. During season 5, a younger sister, Dawn, suddenly appears in Buffy's life. Although she is new to the series, to the characters it is as if she has always been there. Buffy is confronted by Glory, an exiled hell god, who is searching for a key that will allow her to return to hell, her hell dimension, and is in a process to blur the lines between dimensions and unleash hell on Earth. It is later discovered that the key's protectors have used Buffy's blood to turn the key into human form. Dawn, currently implanting everybody with lifelong memories of her. The Watchers Council aids in Buffy's research on Glory, and she and Giles are both reinstalled on their own terms. Riley leaves early in the season after realizing that Buffy does not love him and joins a military demon hunting operation. Spike, still implanted with the chip from the initiative, realizes he is in love with Buffy and increasingly helps the Scoobies in their fight. Buffy's mother, Joyce, dies from a brain aneurysm. While at the end of the season, Sander proposed to Anya, Glory finally discovers that Dawn is the key and kidnaps her, using Dawn's blood to open a portal to Hell dimension. To have Dawn, Buffy sacrifices her own life by diving into the portal, thus closing it with her death. At the beginning of season 6, Buffy has been dead for 147 days, but Buffy's friends resurrect her through a powerful spell, believing they have rescued her from a hell dimension. Buffy returns in a deep depression, explaining several episodes later that she has been in heaven and is devastated to be pulled back to Earth. Giles returns to England because he has concluded that Buffy has become too reliant on him, while Buffy takes up a fast food job to support herself and Dawn and develops a secret, mutually abusive sexual relationship with Spike. Dawn suffers from kleptomania and feelings of alienation. Xander leaves Anya at the altar, after which she once again becomes a vengeance demon, and Willow becomes addicted to magic, causing Tara to temporarily leave her. They also begin to deal with the Trio, a group of nerds led by Ron Mears, who uses their proficiency in technology and magic to attempt to kill Buffy and take over Sunnydale. Ron is shown to be the only competent villain of the group, and after Buffy thwarts his plans multiple times, the trio breaks apart. One becomes unhinged and attacks Buffy with a gun, accidentally killing Tara in the process. This caused Willow to descend into nihilistic darkness and unleash all of her dark magical powers, killing Warren and attempting to kill his friends. Giles returns to face her in the battle and infuses her with light magic, tapping into her remaining humanity. This overwhelms Willow with guilt and pain, whereupon she attempts to destroy the world to end everyone's suffering, although it is everything allows Sander to reach through her pain and end her rampage. Late in the season, after losing control and trying to rape Buffy, Spike leaves Sunnydale and tries to see a demon and asks him to return him to what he used to be, so that he can give Buffy what she deserves. After Spike passes a series of brutal tests, the demon restores his soul. During season 7, it is revealed that Buffy's second resurrection caused instability in the Slayer line, which also allowed the first evil to begin tipping the balance between good and evil. It begins by hunting down and killing inactive potential Slayers, and soon raises an army of ancient, powerful Turok Han vampires. After the Watcher's console is destroyed, a number of potential Slayers, some bought by Giles, take refuge in Buffy's house. Fate returns to help fight the first evil, and the new Sunnydale's high school principal, Robin Wood, he is somewhere familiar to me, but I can't remember where, also joined the cause. The Turok Han vampires and a sinister misogynistic preacher known as Caleb begin causing havoc for the Scoobies. As the Hellmount becomes more active, nearly all of Sunnydale's population, humans and demons alike, flee. In the series finale, Buffy kills Caleb and Angel returns to Sunnydale with an amulet, which Buffy gives to Spike. The Scoobies then surround the Hellmount and the potential slayers descends into the cavern while Willow casts a spell that activates their slayer's powers. Anya dies in the fight, as do some of the new slayers. Spike's amulet channels the power of the sun to destroy the Hellmount and all the vampires within it, including himself. The collapse of the cavern creates a crater that swallows all of Sunnydale, while the survivors of the battle escape in a school bus. In a final scene, as the survivors surfer the crater, Dawn asks, "What are we going to do now?" Buffy slowly begins to enigmatically smile as she contemplates the future ahead of her, ending the series on a hopeful note. So this is the plot of all the 7 seasons. And if I already am looking at the IMDb rating, it's an 8.3, and I must say, I can find me with that. It's a quite good series, and as most series, the end seasons are great. And well, let me start by the beginning. I think it's a better idea. So my first reaction is that when I started the first few episodes of Buffy, the first thing and the feeling that I got was, oh damn, this is really the 90s. And one way it was really fun to watch, because this is my nostalgic teenage series I would watch. And the funny part is how young some of the actors are that you know in other series or movies, how they look now. So yeah, I must say that it was a nice surprise. It isn't more in the category of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, of course the movies of Scooby-Doo, and what else more? Of course we have, let's start with Buffy, of course. I know every teenager had male teenager had a crush on her. A lot of girls had a crush on, of course, Angel. And although I do think he's handsome, I always had a thing for Giles. And every episode we looking, there is new action of fighting against vampires in the beginning, then demons, and whatever else more of a species, a fantasy that is walking around, roaming our society. And I must say, again, it's a really 90s program, because if you see vampires and demons, how they make them nowadays, then you have to laugh how they see in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Lucky for her, Buffy, she has this little group of friends around her who helps her with investigating the threat what is in Sunnydale, of course, and they of course call themselves the Scoobies. And by the way, of course, that reminds me of Scooby-Doo. And I think they named it or inspired they were inspired by Scooby-Doo and the series on TV. And I believe they also have a few episodes in that they're watching Scooby-Doo and they got more inspiration how to do things. What I really love about her friends is that they are so close and they have different qualities to help Buffy. Like Tara and Willow are the witches. Even Giles is a witch, of a wizard, or mage, how you can call it. And then of course we have Xander. He is not particular skilled, but he's always there and he always helps. And then of course Willow is also a computer wizard. She is very good with computers and they need her from time to time. And the funny part is the first school principal, who has been played by Armin Shimmerman. I know Armin mostly as Quark of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And so it is very funny to see how young he is here. And he even talks a bit of Buffy, his days and Buffy the Vampire in the podcast of the Delta Flies, where he is incorporating now with his time and experience of Deep Space Nine. Of course, we also have Angel. In the beginning, I didn't know what I had to think of him, and that he was there for Buffy, and of course, later in the series, we see, of course, that Buffy has something with Spike. What was in one way really weird, because it was all thanks to that chip. And that was really a mad storyline with with that group of people who in one way studies vampires, etc. But on the other hand, they were hunting on that to them. And we see that first Spike was bad, and that girlfriend of his, the first girlfriend of his, that demon Gloria? I think so. Glory. I really never liked her. She was really a character that every time she came on screen, or with Spike, I really had, okay, they can go to hell and I don't want to see them again, you know? I see this series a bit of a pre-series of Shadowhunters. Shadowhunters was also in the same sphere of this, but then a bit modern and more with runes and of course Lucifer Morgenstein, who also is a famous one in Star Trek, what is funny. But we also have, of course, Willow. Willow has this love string with us, and I right remember him because he is also famous nowadays. And it was nice to see that Willow had this love interest, because Willow is really the nerd, and Sandra also, but that's, I think that's make it funny, because of funny, nice, because it was like an example for the world of, okay, you can be a geek, but you can be, you also have feelings, and being bullied is not funny, or just people are seeing you with different eyes. It is not funny. And it is nice to see that they had a love interest. And of course, the one that is also have a love interest is Gauss. What made me happy, because I do think he guides, because he's the oldest and he's a watcher. But also, you see that those people have a life next to it. And what I forgot to mention about Angel is that, of course, later on he has his own series. So now we are at season 2. And the first note is about Cordelia. She is very princess-like and like a mean girl at school. But she also becomes a Scooby, and she helps Buffy and her friends. And in one way, she's good for Xander. And so it is a pity, and I can't remember in which season it is, when she leaves the series. But she becomes boyfriend and girlfriend with Xander. And Xander had to do a lot of talking into her to be public with it. Because she always said, well, you're a dude, you're a nerd, and me and a nerd will never go together. And she was more a nerd than she could ever be, And in one way that was very funny as well, because it is a typical stereotype for nowadays as well, of everybody will be looking weird at you if you say, okay, I'm a nerd, but I have a mean girl or beautiful girl or smart girl as girlfriend. They never, people never will, I don't want to say that they don't accept it, but there has to be done a lot to accept that in society. And it is the same thing with racial couples. And I can't talk about that because my dad is Dutch and my mom is Indonesian. So my mom comes from Asia, my dad is from Europe. So white and you can say yellow. And this is not disrespectful, guys. I don't want to go in on that, but it is just making a point of, okay, I know what I'm talking about. And that is exactly the same when people are asking, how can you know so much of the Dutch and Indonesian culture? Well, it is my culture, it's my history. And I never will choose a side. Never. Because I'm a love baby of those two racial humans. So then we also have, of course, the werewolves. The werewolves are the next fantasy species in Buffy the Vampires. And I must say, I really had to laugh about that, because how they look like, once again, it's very 90s. But it is also something that we never will nowadays will make a werewolf, etc. And of course we know in the 90s we only have one type of werewolf. And as we know, and I know that also as a fantasy writer, there are different types of werewolves. But they were very looking strange. They were like really half monkey, half wolf, if I can say it like that. So then we have, of course, I said it before, Willow has a love interest and a bit of a love triangle with Oz and Xander, because Xander, she really has a crush on Xander, but he is going with Cordelia. What was weird, because they ended up kissing each other and they have those feelings, and Xander was the only one who could stop Willow when she became dark in season 6. Oz shifted into his werewolf self in front of Willow, and she was, I don't want to say scared, but it was a shock. And we see also that Cordelia doesn't fit in with the mean girls at school, so she really has become a nerd and become a Scooby. And we see Willow, who will teach computer classes at the campus of school, but also when they do research, those, and children of nowadays can't even imagine about of it, but the computers were so big and so 90s that I really have to laugh, and it reminded me, yep, okay, now I'm feeling old. And so it is very funny to see how they used it. So Xander is trying to put a love spell on, was that Cordelia? I think that was Cordelia, but that was totally wrong. What was a very, very, very funny episode. I really liked that one. And he ended up at the school nurse. And the school nurse is also very famous, as she was really, really young here. As all of them. She is the cleaning lady from the 2.5 Men of Charlie Sheen and with the Harpers, you know. She, it's really, it's nice to see that she had that before she came to 2.5 Men. So then there was this episode with the swimmers team to cause havoc, and also the coach of the swimming team was a Russian spy / he did really wrong things, and so then of course we have the Prison Break. What was really that was a hard episode to watch for me. It was very chaotic, but also very dark, and I think there were a lot of subjects in this series that Buffy had to deal with, and I think that's a young girl, a teenager, don't have to do that. It's weird to have that on your shoulders. It's a heavy load. And then we see, of course, a new girlfriend of Spike's, and her name is Drew, and she's a dark seer. What was very complicated as well for the whole storyline. and Spike has this accident, so he's sitting in a wheelchair and he can't walk or whatever. And Angel is has no soul again, so he became bad, and he became so bad, and I think that was after he had sex with Buffy. So it's kind of a way she activated it, and yeah, it's like a whole let I say this, it was difficult for Buffy, and she ended up to leave Sunnydale. So, and I think she went to, where was it? Was it New York? And then someone recognized her, but that wasn't good either. But okay, hey ho, she left her apartment later on for her. And you know, if I am correct, we see there has been in this few years that we are seeing some of Buffy's life. It isn't easy for her. It's not going over roses and moonshine. So we are now at season 3, and while Buffy is gone, Buffy's friends are patrolling the night. And what I noticed also right away is that the intro tune was different. As well, I mean more like in video saying and that kind of things. And when the summer is over, Buffy is come back from nowhere and out of nowhere. And in this season we get more of the zombies and witches, and there was one point that I was saying and feeling, okay, I really don't like Sander. He is really making it difficult, and he is not a likable character, unless in the last seasons of 5, 6 and 7. But I don't like him. There was also a new Slayer in town named Fate. And Faith is someone that she has a bit too much of, here look me, I'm strong, and I don't need a watcher, and I'm perfect, and blah 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 blah, I'm a rebellion. And so she works with Buffy, good and bad, because she found a father figure in the mayor. And yeah, I always hoped that she became good, but as we've seen in the season and the season after that, she will not. And it's a pity, because it would be nice if you see a bit more background of the Slayers and the Watchers. And that's why I always liked Giles, because Giles is like not only the that's what I love about Giles as well. Instead of being a bibliothecarist, he or a librarian, he started his own magic shop. And this is something that I mentioned, I think Willow and Tara would do. And but it's nice to see that they they talk about those things. And I must say, we also see, of course, that, and I talked it just but now, Xander and Will have been kissing. And that is not fun. We also have, of course, a good Willow and a bad Willow. She become a witch, which is a good asset for the team. But also, and we see that a lot by witches, that if they do something with feelings or emotions, that the spell will be, or what they will become, is far more worst. And of course, the Witches' Council coming to Sunnydale, and they fired Giles, which has big consequences for Buffy. But we see that she's giving some struggle against the Watchers Council. We also see that Angel is back, but he doesn't let Buffy know and stay in the dark. I must say that the new Watcher of Buffy and also the new Watcher of Fate, I really don't like them. They, as we Dutchies say, they get the blood under my nails, and it is something that is in contrast of what Watchers are, and what, and that's what I'm very, very happy that Giles is still being Buffy's Watchers, because he helps. But also Giles has difficulties with accepting him not being a Watcher anymore. And you could see at his own lifestyle. And thank God there was that moment that he said, okay, I want to still help you, and I do everything in my power what I can. The other thing is that Fate is very sexual at the moment, and she has been preying on Angel's soul. What, of course, is very, very dangerous. And by this, it changed Angel temporarily. So Buffy has this on and off relationship now with Angel, what is something new for her. But we see that this is a coming back story for her in later on. We also see that the mayor is uprising his own thing. And later on he changed in a snake to destroy Summerdale. Angel breaks up with Buffy, and he will leave after the big fight against the mayor. And although he stay close, he will not have any interaction with Buffy. So now we ended up in season 4. You see that the group are in university now, what is very different than their teenagers years. And there are new groups of vampires in town. We see also that Xander and Cordelia are no longer a couple, but I do think it's pity. Because I do think Xander and Cordelia are a better couple than Xander and Anya. And through the whole battles and patrolling in the night, Buffy sees Angel everywhere. But he helps her still without her seeing him. And there's also that we see Spike, that getting that microchip of the government, and that means that he can't longer harm human. But then he will go on the hunt with Buffy and the Scoobies. And we do see change in him, but I didn't find him trustworthy for now. And I would rather have my faith in Angel than in Spike. What really was a shock for me was that Oz was cheating on Tara. And he did that with this lady friend werewolf. And they began, I don't want to say a relationship, but there was something. And Oz couldn't handle that. So, in the end of this season, we see also that he is leaving Sunnydale. We have those episodes of the Infinity Group that is a science facility that capture creatures like Angel and Spike and whatever else more. And this math scientist who also was a math teacher in Sunnydale, she was a math scientist and she made this creature Frankenstein out of human, werewolf, vampire and mechanical parts. Right away I was thinking, oh, that is Frankenstein, you know. That's how he looked like and was like. And I never liked it that mad scientist. It's something of playing with your own game, you know. It's not something I would do. Spike was hunting Willow and wanted to bite her, but because he couldn't bite her anymore of that microchip, she was protected. And so this is how they find out how things were going. And Buffy has in this, what I do think in this series is that Buffy is, and also the other characters are really jumping fast from another to another love interest. And we see that with Buffy too. Buffy got a new boyfriend. He was of the US military part, but he also was like this college schoolboy. And in one way he was a bit of like Buffy, because during the day he was at school, he was nice and whatever else more, and then at night he was this military man who was hunting. We also see that Oz is coming back, and he wanted to try it again with Willow, but Willow has been friends and in love with Tara. And as I said, she was like she's also a witch. So it is a bit of very hardship for both of them. And Spike is eating from two sides. He is working with the vampires and other creatures, but on the other hand, he is giving information to Buffy and her friends. So what I forgot to mention is that the creature of the mad scientist, who I call Frankenstein, also was a bit of a Terminator. And if you see it, you people say, oh yeah, okay, I can see what you mean. But there was this moment as well that Riley was bad-sided with that Frankenstein creature, and later on when there was this faculty prison break, he knew that this couldn't go on, and he was, let's say, homeless and lost in what he's gonna do next. So then there was also a moment in the series is that Dawn, the youngest sister of Buffy, is coming to live with Buffy and her mother. And she has become very, how can I say this? I don't want to say helpful, but she is a big part of it. And Giles, like I said, was opening a magic shop. It was really funny. I would love to be there. But there was something else with Dawn as well. She has become the key. And she was the key between hell and the good on earth. And it is because Buffy sacrificed herself to jump in the portal, she saved Dawn. And there is this whole storyline and very bad thing with Glory, who will kidnap eventually Dawn to get what she wants. She wants to go home. And it is that, it's just really, how can I say this? It's just like, maybe, now I don't come out of my words. Hold on. I think Buffy and Willow in the beginning, they didn't like each other. But after this whole fiasco with Dawn being the key, there was much more. And of course, their mom died. And I think that is also, I don't know, what I encountered through this whole series is she has so much hardship. It is not really like, okay, now you can be at peace in a way. Spike figured out that he is in love with Buffy, there will be very funny encounters with him and Buffy. So that is one thing that what I didn't saw coming in a way. Him and Buffy, nah, you know. But Spike is pretty good, and slowly he takes hurdles away to let everyone see who he really is. Now, Ryan is going back to the army, and he had a time of leaving, and Buffy could say goodbye to him, but she missed him with her hair, as we say. And just being, I don't know, it's really, like I said, Buffy's love life is very turbulent and chaotic, and I have no idea if this comes because she is the how I say that, because she's the Slayer, etc., or if this is just typical teenage behavior. Then of course we see that Spike, while Buffy has offered herself, she has been gone for 147 days. And we see that Spike has a robot Buffy to help him with his feelings and energy, and what else was more what he has done. They have, and I mean it's Willow and Tara and Xander want to bring Buffy back, and in this part of the season, and I think this is already season 5, if I'm correct, they also had a musical episode, and really I really had to laugh. But Giles has the feeling that he needs to go away because Buffy is more dependent on him. But he is leaving at the worst possible moment. So because Buffy is trying to adapt with the whole life, etc. But he or she, it's very difficult for her. Exactly when Giles go back to London, which is, I think, a big blow to Buffy. So Buffy has to cope with and her mother's death, and her Slayer things, and taking care of her baby sister, and earning money to keep the house, etc. So Giles come back for a bit, but he will leave again. And then we see that Willow has used some kind of a mind spell on her girlfriend. And that went wrong. Well, wrong. When she discovered that, she broke up with Willow. And that was also, again, very heartbreaking for not only for Tara, but also for Willow. And Willow was a bit of loss, I have to say. And there was this time when they were in the magic shop, when they were all together, and once again Giles said that he is going to leave Buffy as his as her watcher. What my thoughts and feeling was from, what the hell's going on? Why wouldn't you stay, Giles? They need you. And he at turn says, well, you're grown now and you guys know what you need to do, so it's okay. I will be fine. But we see also that the whole group, the Scooby group, is in total loss now, that once again Giles is going back to London and he will stay for good. Then there is this moment that Tara is casting a forgetting spell. No, not Tara. Willow. And that is very... that goes very wrong. And it is by accident that Xander is breaking it. The spell is undone. And Willow only did this because she wanted to ease the pain of everyone in the group, including Buffy, of losing her mother, etc. Then there was this episode that Amy, the rat, who she was been on the burn tape as Willow, because people say they were a witch and they were gonna burn them alive. She changed into a rat and now she became normal again. But Amy is a very bad witch and she is influencing Willow very bad, and she takes Willow to this wizard who will tap into her energy, etc., and give her energy back, and everything is... It is like that she was addicted to it, because we see that she has a very difficult time to get off that, well, wizard drug, in a way. What is with energy. So Will is going along with the wrong crowd with Amy, and she's taunting Dawn very much with it. That I was thinking, okay, why? But at the end, Willow is losing everyone around her that she loves and everything she loves. Only when Buffy has compassion with her and also Giles, she is coming back as the old Willow. Well, then of course we have this part that Anya and Xander are almost get married. But it was this creature that was influencing Xander to not marry her, etc. And also that was a very complicated episode, but okay. But there was good news. Willow and Tara became a couple again, and I was really, I don't want to say surprised by it, but it is was like, thank God, something good, you know? Not a bad thing. Then, of course, there is that episode that those three nerd boys, especially Warren, Warren wanted to revenge, and he shot Buffy. But one of the bullets wandered away and killed Tara. Buffy survived, also because of Willow, but she asked Dad to not take Tara from her, and Dad said, well, she went with a natural course, so I can't do anything for you. And that made Willow very angry, and she tapped in all her dark magic, and she came big and strong, etc. And it's almost like an Armageddon that was loose. And Tara has a lot of revenge. She revenged on Warren. The two other boys have been rescued, but nobody could stop Willow. But there was this moment that Xander was talking into her and only telling her, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And that was the moment that we saw Willow back. The Willow that we know. The other thing was in this part of the season, and it is almost season 7, that I only watched for a couple of episodes. So the demons are looking so weird, and I must say it was like a livestock of what we know nowadays, with the special effects, etc. That's more creepier than it was in the 90s. And of course, in the 90s they did what they could. But that was really, that I was saying, it was nice to see, and it gave me, I must confess, the whole Buffy the Vampire Slayer series has given me some inspiration for my own fantasy writing. So keep my post so you can keep an eye out when my fantasy stories are coming online. I have written books. I only just don't have the courage yet to actually publish them. That's a big step for me. So I can use every help I can get with it, and it is more like the feelings and emotions I got of it, than actually doing it. But okay. At the high point of level that Willow wanted to destroy Buffy and the Scooby group, etc. Giles is back. And I was so happy that Giles was back, because you could see that Giles also had been taught a lot. He became a very good mage or wizard. And although he couldn't kill Willow, he could harm her, and I thought he sent her to this place where she couldn't be destroy Sunnydale. And he sent Sander to her to talk to her. And there were, I think, Giles and I thought Anya died or not. I can't remember, but one of them has passed away too. And then Willow become normal again, and she has to relabate in with Giles. I think they do that in England, to be honest. And well, it's. I think it would be nice for her if she could go to a wizard school or something. I think that would do her good. But Giles was sending her back to her friends because otherwise she really has no one. And she wanted to stay with Giles because that was her safety net now. But yeah, she was totally devastated. Well, the last point of the season is that Buffy is start training Dawn for his vampire slayer. What I was thinking, do you really need to do that, you know? But okay, she does it. And maybe they do that because for a sister strong, you know? And it could be it could be like a longer version for Buffy in the way of, because I think, who said that? Oh, it was Spike. Spike was saying that to Buffy. You have to step back of the Slayer thing and live a little. And I think he's right in one way, because we see that Buffy really don't have a life in that way. But, okay, I think in that way, and I do think it is pity that Spike has been treated like that. And I don't know if they have done this because he has to be the ultimate bad guy or villain. And I don't know if they had made a good choice be doing it like this. Let me know, guys, what you think about all the characters, all the episodes, all the seasons, and what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments section below. And who knows, we can start a very nice discussion about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I see it is a bit long today, this episode, but okay. So I'm going to make an end of it. Thank you for listening. And join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Maya Eileen Talks. The next episode is about the new Indiana Jones movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very curious about it. Of course, they say that this is the last movie with Harrison Ford as Indy. And in one way, I hope they will continue the Indiana Jones movies, but then with Matt, his son. And well, I think we still have to wait for it, what they are going to do, etc. You can find the Maya Eileen Talks podcast on Spotify, Anchors, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and on the YouTube channel, or you can join the Facebook group. I also have 2 other podcasts called the Dutch Ready Room Podcast and Girls Talking Trek. The Dutch Ready Room Podcast is a podcast for all the Dutch Trekkies to talk about everything Star Trek. Of course, this will be spoken in my native language, Dutch. You can find the Dutch Ready Room on Facebook and the YouTube channel. Ghost Talking Trek is a Trek podcast that I used to do with my good friend Amanda, but since her passing, I'm doing the podcast alone. So I'm still looking for another Trek friend who will and have the time to recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek with me. At the moment, I'm recapping Season 3 of Star Trek The Next Generation. I will see you in 2 weeks.